Okay, students. Hello. In the next video session, beta. In this video section, we have to discussing about the female reproductive system. Previous class, we have talked about the male reproductive system. But in this video section, we have to discussing about the female reproductive system. So, right. This is the very important beta. Female reproductive system. This female reproductive system, it is arises from the mesoderm, means that female complete organs, it is arises from a dermis, that is called as a mesoderm. So this is the first point beta. And this female reproductive system, it is divided into two parts, that is primary sexual organs and secondary sexual organs. Like that, the male reproductive system, primary sexual organs and secondary sexual organs. The primary sexual organs are the testes and scrotum, that is the primary sexual organs. So similarly here, the female reproductive system, it is consisting of the primary sexual organs and secondary sexual organs. So what is the primary sexual organs beta? The primary sexual organs includes the ovary, and secondary sexual organs, it includes the fallopian tube, uterus, and vagina and cervical canal. So this is the belonging to the secondary sexual characters. Okay, female reproductive system, it is arises from the mesoderm, right? This female reproductive system, it is divided into two parts. One is a primary sexual organ and secondary sexual organs. Primary sexual organ consists of the ovary. So this ovary is called as a ovary is called as a female gonad. Ovary is also known as a female gonad. Okay, so this is a female gonad. So this female gonad, it is located in the abdominal cavity. Ovaries are located in the abdominal cavity. So that is located in a depression. So that depression is called as a fossa, ovarian fossa. That is called as a ovarian fossa. Means ovaries are located in the abdominal cavity. So this is the abdominal cavity. So these ovaries are located in the abdominal cavity. So that abdominal cavity, it is having a small cavity, so small depression. So in that depression, so this ovary is situated. So that depression is called as a ovarian fossa. So this is the abdominal cavity. This is called as the ovarian fossa. Means ovary is located in the ovarian fossa. So this is the very important. So that ovary is responsible for the production of the female hormones, and it is also responsible for the production of the female gametes. That gametes is known as a ovum. Female gametes is known as a ovum. Means what is the main significance of ovary? Ovary is responsible for the production of female gamete, that is known as ovum, and secondary function, it is producing a female hormones. What is the female hormones beta? Estrogen. So that estrogen hormone is called as a female hormone. So that is responsible for the secondary sexual characters in the female organisms. So at the time of puberty, the breast glands are well developed, and voice will be changing, and hip is a broad, and shoulders are narrowing. So this is the secondary sexual characters, so which is seen into the female organisms at the time of puberty by the influencing of hormone. So that hormone is called as a, which hormone beta? Estrogen hormone. It is a steroid hormone, right? Another point, this ovary is also producing a hormone that is called as a progesterone hormone. So that is the functions of the ovary. Ovary is producing the estrogen and the progesterone hormones, right? And these ovaries are the almond shaped structures. Ovaries are the almond shaped structures, and that ovaries are about 3.5 centimeters long. It is about 3.5 centimeters long and 2 centimeters wide. So it is about 3.5 centimeters long and 2.5 centimeters wide, and 1 centimeter, it is a thickness of the ovary. It is a thickness of the ovary. Okay, what is the ovary beta? The primary sexual organ consists of the ovary. So that ovaries are located in the abdominal cavity. It is having a small depression. So the depression is containing a ovary. So the depression is called as a ovarian fossa. Okay, it is an almond shaped structure. It is an oval shaped or almond shaped structure. So it is about 3.5 centimeters long and 2.5 centimeters wide, and 1 centimeter is a thickness. So that is the ovary. Okay, it is a primary sexual organ. Okay, right? And after that, this ovary, it is having two regions outer peripheral region is called as a cortex, and inner region is called as a medulla. Means ovary is having a two portions. Outer portion is called as a cortex, and inner portion is called as a medulla. Okay, that is responsible for the production of ovum and female hormone. So that is the ovary. But we have to discussing about the complete brief structure of the ovary in the next video session beta. Okay, so we have to continue with the secondary sexual organs. Since secondary sexual organs are consisting the uterus, fallopian tube and vagina. Okay, this is the secondary sexual organs. And along with the secondary sexual organs, it is also having some accessory glands. So female accessory glands. So that is called as a mammary glands and vestibular glands. So that is responsible for the production of mucus, and mammary glands are the responsible for the production of milk during the pregnancy time. Right. So we have to discussing about the uterus. So this is the uterus beta. Okay, this is the uterus. So this uterus is a pear-shaped structure. Uterus is a pear-shaped structure. This uterus is also known as womb. Okay, this is the uterus beta. So this uterus, it is also known as a womb. It is also known as a womb. It is look like the inverted pear-shaped structure. Inverted pear-shaped structure. Okay, right? So which is a inverted pear-shaped structure beta? Womb is a inverted pear-shaped structure. Okay, so this is the uterus. It is also known as a hystra. It is also known as a hystra beta. Right? What is the meaning of hysterectomy? Hysterectomy means removing of uterus. Removing of uterus, that is called as a hysterectomy. Means, so sometimes what happen beta, this uterus having some cancer. So uterus को क्या होता है बेटा, जब भी कैंसर हो जाता है तो क्या होता है, उस यूट्रस को हम निकालना चाहिए सर्जिकल मेथड से, हम इसको निकाल देते हैं. दैट इज नोन एज ए हिस्टेरेक्टमी. दैट इज कॉल्ड एज ए हिस्टेरेक्टमी. सो रिमूविंग ऑफ यूट्रस इज कॉल्ड एज ए हिस्टेरेक्टमी. सो दिस इज द वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट बेटा. सो दिस यूट्रस इज आल्सो नोन एज ए वूम. Okay, right? So it is a inverted pear-shaped structure, right? And this uterus, it is about 7 centimeters long. So it is about 7.5 centimeters long. Okay, uterus is a 7 centimeters long, and wide is a 5 centimeters. Width is a 5 centimeters. Long is a 7.5 centimeters, and width is a 5 centimeters. So that is regarding to the uterus. And uterus has some parts. Okay, anterior bulging part of the uterus. This is the anterior bulging part of the uterus. It is known as a fundus. Okay, right? And this uterus, the posterior part of the uterus, it is having a canal. That canal is called as a cervical canal. The posterior part of the uterus, it is having a canal. That canal is called as a cervical canal. So this cervical canal, it is having a two openings. Internal opening is called as a internal os, and external opening is called as a external os. So this is a very very important beta, right? The terminal part of the uterus, it is having a canal. That canal is called as a cervical canal. So this cervical canal, it is having a two openings. The internal opening is called as the internal os, and the external opening is called as a external os. Right? And this uterus, it is having a 3 membranes. Uterus having a how many membranes beta? There are 3 membranes are present in the uterus. The outer membrane is called as a perimetrium. So this is the perimetrium. So the outermost membrane of the uterus, it is called as a perimetrium, and inner membrane is called as a endometrium. So this is the inner. Okay, this is the endometrium. This is the inner membrane, and middle membrane is called as a myometrium. Middle membrane is called as a myometrium. So this is the very very important beta. So why it is known as a myometrium? The middle layer of uterus is called as a myometrium. So because it is composed by the muscles, it is composed by the muscles. So that's why it is called as a myometrium. Myometrium. So inner layer of uterus is called as a endometrium. So you can see here beta. So this is the endometrium. This is called as a endometrium, and this endometrium, it contains the blood vessels. It contains the blood vessels. So you can see here beta. So this is the endometrium. So this endometrium, it is a highly vascularized. Endometrium is a highly vascularized. Means it contains the lot of blood vessels, and blood capillaries are present in the which region beta? In the endometrium layer. So that endometrium layer, it get rupturing due to the menstrual cycle. So what happened beta? Per 28 days, okay, the female reproductive cycle is present in the females. So that cycle is called as a menstrual cycle. So during the menstrual cycle time, what happened beta? So these blood vessels are get rupturing. So due to the rupturing of blood vessels, what happened beta? The blood is oozing out into the uterus, and through the help of this cervical canal, it is enters into the vagina, and through the help of vaginal pore, that is called as a vaginal orifice, it is expelling outside. That is called as a menstrual flow. That is called as a menstrual flow. It is occurs 1 to 5 days. In the first 5 days of the menstrual cycle beta. So this is the uterus. The uterus has heavy layers. There are 3 layers. Outermost layer is called as the perimetrium, and middle is called as a myometrium, and innermost is called as the endometrium. It is a highly vascularized. What is the meaning of highly vascularized? It is containing the blood vessels or blood capillaries. Okay, so during the menstrual cycle time, what happened? So these blood vessels are get rupturing. So due to the rupturing of that blood capillaries, the blood is oozing out in the menstrual cycle period. That is called as a menses period. Okay, so the blood, it is enters into the cervical canal, and then it is entering into the vagina. Through the help of vaginal pore, it is expelling outside. That is called as a bleeding, right? This is regarding to the uterus. And after the uterus, so we have to discussing about the next one, that is called as a fallopian tube. So let us we have to discussing about the fallopian tube. So what is the fallopian tube beta? This fallopian tube is also known as a oviduct. Fallopian tube is also known as a oviduct. So that oviduct is about 10 to 12 centimeters long. Oviduct is about 10 to 12 centimeters long. So this oviduct is also known as a fallopian tube. It is also known as a fallopian tube. So you can see here, so this is the right fallopian tube, and this is the left fallopian tube. This is the right and this is the left fallopian tube. Okay, this fallopian tube, it is responsible for the carrying of sperms and carrying of the ovums, male and female gonads, gametes. It is carrying by the which structure beta? Fallopian tube. So let us we have to discussing about the fallopian tube, that is also known as a oviduct. It is about 10 to 12 centimeters long, and these oviducts are fallopian tube. It is having a terminal portion of the oviduct. It is consisting a small finger-like projections. It is having a small finger-like projection. That finger-like projections are called as a fimbrae. That is called as a fimbrae. So you can see here beta. So this is the ovary and this is the fimbrae. Okay, what is the fimbrae? The small finger-like projections which is arises from the base of the infundibulum. So that finger-like projections are the fimbrae. So what is the job of fimbraes? So always that fimbraes are moving. So due to the movement of that fimbrae, it is easily catching the ovum. It is easily catching the ovum from the ovary. So that is the function of the fimbrae. It is perceiving the ovum. Okay. Then after, so that ovum is enters into a hole that is called as a ostium. So this is the aperture. This is the aperture. Okay, the fimbrae, so where they are arises, so that region is also consisting the small aperture. That aperture is called as a ostium. So this ostium, it is perceiving the ovum. That ovum is entering into the ostium. And next, the second part of the fallopian tube is called as a infundibulum. So that infundibulum, it is a broad funnel shaped structure. It is a broad funnel shaped structure. You can see here beta, this is the funnel shape. This is called as a funnel shaped structure. It is a broad funnel shaped structure. So it is located behind the ostium. So this is the infundibulum. And this infundibulum, it is opening into the another part. So that another part is called as a ampulla. It is a broad part. Okay, first of all, fimbraes are opening into infundibulum is opening into another wider part, broad part. That broad part is called as a ampulla. So where the fertilization occurs. So that normal fertilization occurs in the which region? Beta, ampullary ischemic junction. Okay, or ampulla. Okay, that is the site for the mating of the male and female gametes. Sometimes what happen beta? The fertilization occurs in the fallopian tube. Okay, and that implantation is also occurs in the fallopian tube. Okay, actually implantation is occurs in the which region beta? In the uterus region, but sometimes what happen beta? So that zygote or the blastocyst, it is attaching with the which layer beta? This fallopian tube, that is called as ectopic pregnancy. That is called as ectopic pregnancy. Okay, आगे हम पढ़ेंगे, right? Okay, this is the fimbriae, infundibulum, and after that ampulla. This ampulla is opening into another part, that is called as a isthmus. That is called as a isthmus. Okay, so this isthmus is a opening into a pear-shaped structure, that is called as a womb. It is also known as a hystra. It is also known as a hystra. It is an inverted pear-shaped structure. So after the fertilization, so that zygote is converted into a morula, and morula is converted into a blastocyst, and that blastocyst, it is a comes into the uterus, and then after it is attaching with the these uterus wall. So that process is called as a implantation. That process is called as a implantation. So this is the very very important beta. This is regarding to the uterus. Okay, हमने क्या पढ़ लिया बेटा? Right, the first of all primary sexual organ, ovary is completed. Ovary, after that ovary, so we have discussed here the uterus. Okay, uterus and fallopian tube. Uterus is a inverted pear-shaped structure. It is also known as a womb. It is about 7.5 centimeters long and 5 centimeters wide. It is having a 3 layers: myometrium, endometrium, perimetrium. Okay, so this uterus is opening into a canal, that is called as a cervical canal. That cervical canal is having a 2 openings. One is called as internal os and external os. It is opening into another part. That part is called as a vagina. Cervical canal is opening into another part, that is called as a vagina. What is the vagina? The female copulatory structure is called as a vagina. It is a long tube. It is a long muscular tube. What is a vagina beta? Vagina is a long muscular tube. It is about 8 to 10 centimeters long. It is about 8 to 10 centimeters long. So this is the vagina. Vagina is a muscular long tube. Okay, it is about 8 to 10 centimeters long, and the inner side of the vagina, it is having a folds. That folds are called as a vaginal folds, and that vaginal folds or vaginal layer, inner layer, it is having a specialized epithelium, that is called as a non-keratinized stratified epithelium. Okay, vagina is internally lined by a specialized epithelium, that is called as a non-keratinized stratified epithelium. So this is the very very important, and this vagina, it is opening by a pore or hole or aperture, that is called as a vaginal orifice. That is said to be the vaginal orifice. So this is the opening of the vagina. Okay, so this opening of the vagina, it is partially covered by the mucous membrane. So that mucous membrane is called as a hymen. In the virgin females, so this mucous membrane is present. Okay, it can partially covering the vaginal opening. So that mucous membrane is called as a hymen. But nowadays what happened beta? So this hymen layer, it get rupturing by the due to the numerous exercise. ज़्यादा एक्सरसाइज करने से क्या हो रहा है? यहाँ पर हाइमन जो भी हो रहा है रप्चर हो रहा है, साइकिलिंग से, राइडिंग से, हॉर्स राइडिंग से, बाइक राइडिंग से क्या हो रहा है बेटा? इट इज विल बी रप्चरिंग, मीन्स डैमेजिंग हो रहा है, राइट? सो दिस इज द वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट बेटा. सो आफ्टर दैट, सो वी हैव टू डिस्कसिंग अबाउट द नेक्स्ट पार्ट, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज ए एक्सटर्नल जेनेटिलिया. और इसके बाद क्या पढ़ेंगे? एक्सटर्नल जेनेटिलिया पढ़ेंगे. व्हाट इज द एक्सटर्नल जेनेटिलिया बेटा? दिस एक्सटर्नल जेनेटिलिया, इट इज आल्सो नोन एज ए वुल्वा, इट इज आल्सो नोन एज ए पुडेंडम, इट इज आल्सो नोन एज ए पुडेंडम. ओके, राइट? The female external genitalia, it is also known as a vulva, it is also known as a pudendum, it is also known as a pudendum. So this is the very very important. Okay, right beta, this is the very very important. So let us, we have to talk about the pudendum beta, right? The female external genitalia, it is known as a vulva or pudendum. So this female external genitalia, it is centrally, it is containing a one depression. So that depression is called as a vestibule. You can see here beta, this is the complete diagrammatical representation of the female external genitalia. So this female external genitalia, center point, it is having a depression. So that depression is called as a vestibule. That depression is called as a vestibule. So here I am writing beta. So this is the vestibule. and the anterior portion of this vestibule, it is consisting a small tiny knob-like structure. It is having a small tiny knob-like structure. So this small tiny knob-like structure, it is known as a clitoris. It is known as a clitoris. It is a homologous to the penis. Okay, what is the clitoris, beta? The clitoris is present in the female in front of the vestibule, in front of the vestibule or in front of the urethral opening. It is consisting the small tiny knob. So that tiny knob is called as a clitoris. It is a homologous to the penis. It is homologous to the penis. Why it is homologous to the penis, beta? It is having a which nature? Erectile nature. So when the numerous oxygen and blood, it is supplying to the clitoris region. So during that time, what happened, beta? It is getting the stiffness. It gets the stiffness because it is having erectile tissue like the penis. That's why it is called as a homologous to the penis, right? And in front of the vestibule or anterior portion of the vestibule, it is consisting the round fleshy bulged region that is called as a monus pubis. So that monus pubis, it is associated with the fat. It is associated with the fat, means the fat is depositing in the which region, beta? In front of the vestibule. So this is called as a monus pubis, and this monus pubis layer, it is consisting the hairs. That hairs are called as a pubic hairs. You can see here, beta, pubic hairs, right? So these pubic hairs are arises at the time of puberty. So that is the secondary sexual character in the female organisms. Okay, right? So what is the external genitalia? External genitalia is also known as a vulva. It is also known as a pudendum. Okay, so the middle portion of the external genitalia, it is having a depression. The depression is called as a vestibule. In front of the depression, it is having a tiny knob-like structure that is known as a clitoris. So that clitoris is homologous to the penis. Okay, in front of it, it is containing a round fleshy lobe-like structure that is called as monus pubis. That monus pubis having, or it is bearing a hairs. Such hairs are called as a pubic hairs, and it is also having a sebaceous gland. Right, after that, the either side of the vestibule. So this is the vestibule. The either side of the vestibule, it is consisting the lips. So this lips, this is the lips, this is the lips. The inner lips is called as a labia minora. Labia minora. What is the labia minora, beta? Right? The lower lips is called as a labia minora. Upper lips is known as a labia majora. Okay, that vestibule, that depression, it is guarded by, means lateral side of that depression, it is having a lips. Lower lip is called as a labia minora and upper lip is called as a labia majora. So this is the fold of skins, right? That is the labia majora and labia minora. So in front of the vestibule, it is also having a opening that is called as a urethral opening. So through the help of urethral opening, what happened, beta? Urine is removing outside. Okay, that is the function of the urethral opening, means it is helps in the elimination of the nitrogen waste materials in the form of urine. Okay, so behind that, it is containing a vaginal opening, right? So that vaginal opening, it is partially covered by the mucous membrane that is called as a hymen. And you can see here, beta, so this is the band-like structure. You can see here, so this is the anus. So the between the anus and vagina, it is having a one band-like structure. So that band-like structure is called as a perineurium. That band-like structure is called as a perineurium. So this is the very, very important, beta. So the band is connecting between the anus and vagina. So that is called as a perineurium. And this vaginal part, it is consisting the specialized gland that is called as a vestibular glands. So these vestibular glands are mainly two types. One is called as a paraurethral gland. It is also known as a Skinner's gland. Sometimes it is also known as a lesser vestibular gland. Okay. So vestibular glands are mainly two types. One is called as a paraurethral gland or Skinner's gland. It is also known as a lesser vestibular gland. Another one is called as a greater vestibular glands. Okay, right. So these paraurethral glands are locating near the urethra, means in this region it is consisting the paraurethral gland. It is also known as a lesser vestibular gland. It is homologous to the prostate gland. ओके जिस तरह से मेल के अंदर प्रोस्टेट ग्लैंड होता है बेटा, उसका ये रोल यहाँ पर कौन निभाता है? पैरायूरेथ्रल ग्लैंड. ओके, दैट्स व्हाई इट इज नोन एज ए homologous to the prostate gland. So that paraurethral gland or Skinner's gland, it is responsible for the secretion of mucus. Okay, so that is the function of the this gland. And second gland is called as a greater vestibular gland. It is also known as a vestibular gland. So that vestibular greater vestibular gland, it is commonly known as a Bartholin gland. It is commonly known as a Bartholin gland. Okay, greater vestibular gland, it is also known as a Bartholin gland. So that Bartholin gland, it is responsible for the producing of mucus. So that mucus is lubricating the vestibule area. It is lubricating the vestibule area. So it is easily facilitating the copulation. So by the secretion of mucus. So that is the functions of the vestibular glands. Means simply that vestibular gland, it is responsible for the production of mucus. That mucus is facilitating the easy copulation. Right? So this is the vestibular gland. Right? This is the vestibular gland. So after that, so we have to discussing about the next one, that is called as a mammary gland. After that, we have to discussing about the mammary gland. So you can see here, beta, this is the linear section of mammary gland. So these mammary glands are locating on the which region, beta? Mammary glands are locating in the chest region. The females having one pair of mammary glands. So these mammary glands are the originating from the sweat glands. So devoid of the sweat glands means ये कहाँ से उत्पत्ति हुई बेटा? यहाँ इसकी स्वेट ग्लैंड से, स्वेट ग्लैंड ही मॉडिफाइड बन के क्या बन गया है? ये ममेरी ग्लैंड बन गया है. सो दैट ममेरी ग्लैंड इज रेस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर द प्रोडक्शन ऑफ मिल्क. So okay, during the which time beta? During the pregnancy time. So after the delivery, what happened beta? The baby is taking the food materials from the mammary glands, because the mother producing the milk from the mammary gland. So let us we have to discussing about the linear section of mammary gland. So this mammary glands is having a fat. Mammary gland, it is having a fat. So behind the fat, it is consisting the lobes. So how many lobes are there beta? So each breast gland having a 15 to 20 glandular lobes. Okay, each breast having a how many lobes beta? There are 15 to 20 lobes are present. Each breast is containing a 15 to 20 lobes. That lobes is called as a glandular lobes. And again, so these glandular lobes, it is consisting the small tubules. That small tubules are called as a mammary tubules. And that mammary tubules are having a specialized cells that is called as a alveoli. So that alveoli are producing a milk. Alveoli are responsible for the production of milk. That milk is producing in the alveoli, and then the milk is enters into the mammary ducts. Mammary ducts through the help of branches, that is called as a mammary tubules. So this is the very important beta. Question बन सकता है, यहाँ से question arise हो सकता है. Okay, the milk is producing in the alveoli, and then after that milk is entering into the mammary tubules. Then after milk is entering into the mammary duct, and then after it is entering into the that is called as a ampulla. कहाँ पे जाता है? एम्फुला के जाता है. एम्फुला के अंदर then after it is entering into the lactiferous duct, and from the lactiferous duct, so this lactiferous duct, it is covering with the black pigmented sheath, that is called as a areola. That is called as a areola. What is the areola beta? Nipples. Okay, the nipples are covered by the black pigment. The nipples are covering with the black pigment. Sometimes it is a brown pigment. Okay, based upon the presence of melanin beta. Okay, right? So that is called as a areola. What is the areola beta? The nipples are covered by a black pigment. Okay, that pigmented is called as a areola. Okay, whenever the baby is expelling outside of the body, so during that time after that, what happened? The baby is sucking the milk from the mammary gland through the help of structures that is called as a nipples. When the baby is crying, जब बच्चा या बच्ची रोती है बेटा, विद इन 20 सेकंड्स के अंदर जब भी मदर जब सुनती है आवाज बच्चे रोने की, so within 20 to 30 seconds the nipples are erecting, nipples are contracting, it is ready to producing the milk. ऑटोमेटिक से बेटा अचानक से ये क्या होता है, बॉडी के अंदर मैकेनिज्म होता है. जब भी रोने की आवाज आती है अपनी मदर को, तो विद इन 20 to 30 सेकंड्स में क्या होता है, मिल्क इज रिलीजिंग फ्रॉम द निपल्स टू द आउटसाइड. by the action of hormone. That hormone is called as a oxytocin. It is also known as a milk releasing hormone. Milk releasing hormone. Which hormone is known as a milk releasing hormone? Beta, oxytocin. Oxytocin, very very important. This oxytocin is also known as a birth hormone. It is also known as a birth hormone, right? So this is about today's class, beta. This is the complete female reproductive structure. Complete female reproductive structure. ओके, मेल एंड दिस इज द कंप्लीट फीमेल रिप्रोडक्टिव स्ट्रक्चर. यहाँ पर क्या पढ़ लिया है हमने? प्राइमरी सेक्सुअल ऑर्गन, सेकेंडरी सेक्सुअल ऑर्गन्स को कंप्लीट से पढ़ लिया है. एक्सटर्नल जेनेटिलिया पढ़ लिया है एंड मेमरी ग्लैंड एंड द वेस्टिबुलर ग्लैंड्स को भी पढ़ लिया है. सो दिस इज आवर टुडेस वीडियो लेक्चर बेटा. थैंक यू for watching this video. Thank you very much. In the next video section we have to discussing about the spermatogenesis and oogenesis process beta. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.